People who have cheated on the so, why didn't you just end the relationship? I honestly hate reading stuff like this cause it puts so many irrational worries into my mind. Just can't help taking a peek though. I just found out my wife of 5 years had an affair for a full year. Look for the signs. Lack of is one of them. Do some research even if you don't think your wife is cheating. When I read about it afterwards, I realized she was textbook cheater. I cheated with an ex long-term so. That relationship was so codependent and unhealthy. The breakup made me want to die. I was trying so hard to move on and put myself back together. I didn't want to end the new relationship. The ex was like my kryptonite. It took a long time to be able to not get sucked back in. It was because of my own baggage, not the new so. I screwed up. I have cheated once. I loved this guy more than I can say in words. But we did not have a healthy relationship. He cheated on me. I even caught him once in bed with another man and I stayed with him anyways because he was my world. He was my best friend. He was my family. But we didn't have It killed me inside. I would show up at his house wearing nothing but lingerie and a fur coat. I wish this was a made-up story. It isn't, and he would ignore me. I didn't feel like I was attractive or sexy, and it got to the point where I didn't think he would even care if I had sex with someone else. So one night, I was out at a show with a bunch of people, including a guy the first had an innocent crush on, and we ended up kissing. One kiss. I felt terrible about it afterwards. Sick. I confessed to my boyfriend and he went insane. He punched the windshield of my car and shattered it while I was driving. It was bad. He felt betrayed. Looking back at this 20 years later, it's obvious what was going on, but I didn't see it at the time. I was young, naive, and he was everything to me. I regretted hurting him then, and I still regret it to this day. I have never cheated on anyone again. Cheating isn't the answer. Talk it out. Work it out or get out. I wanted both things. And I was a selfish, immature I've never regretted anything more than hurting my partner like that. Same here. Me and my ex-wife was together for 9 years. Married for 2 of those years. We never fought or anything. Would do anything for each other. But it was basically we were living together. Not much more. I started getting attention from another woman and loved it. Ended up sleeping with her and came clean with my ex. Got divorced because she wouldn't trust me again and we weren't going to force it. The morning I told her was the only thing I regret. Seeing her collapse and be so broken. Took years to get over that. Definitely changed the way I treat my fiancé in our relationship. Fear of being alone. But that's the way it came. I had an ex who attempted to cheat on me for the same reason. When I caught him, he said he was trying to find my replacement before I left him. This was at the end of what I had thought was a really great day, where I paid for us to do yoga together, get massages, and eat at a pretty decent restaurant. I was too stupid to trust my instincts and walk away at the time, which would have saved me a whole world of hurt. Feels bad, man. As someone that's been cheated on, I just want to say I appreciate the level of honesty in this thread from past cheaters. I've met people that have cheated on partners and seriously didn't think it was a big deal, or even that it was somehow a good thing that they did it. One of them was an ex of mine. Granted, they are likely straight up narcissists, as they are 100% only thinking of themselves and in no way consider the impact that it had on their partner. But yay, I just wanted to say I appreciate the honesty and remorse. I like to think it's one of those mistakes in life that people only make once. But unfortunately, as with all things, we know that isn't always the case. I was with my ex for 7 years. He was incredibly emotionally abusive. He constantly called me fat, compared me to his female friends, and made sure I knew he wanted to them. Told me no other guy would ever want me. He eventually got to the point of changing the Wi-Fi password and making me do tasks to get it. Taking TV remotes, my phone, etc. I was afraid to leave my house because of him. I had pretty severe bipolar disorder and issues with self-harming. I was on medicine and 4 years cut-free at this point. We were supposed to be going on a trip to Colorado. About a week before, he told me he only loved me as a friend but wanted to stay with me because he didn't know how to be alone. I was devastated, but didn't think I was mentally or financially independent to leave. He had basically isolated me from all of my friends, and I moved away from family to be with him. We decided to stay together and just work on things. Essentially we both just hoped he would start loving me again, I guess. The day we were leaving for CO, he informed me he never bought my ticket and never intended on me going. I stayed home and cheated while he was on that trip. As soon as he came home I told him. I felt awful. I knew there was no excuse for what I did regardless of how he treated me. I told him I wanted to leave. We broke up but continued living together for the next 6 months. Him mostly trying to fix our relationship while I just wanted to bury my pain in other people. It was truly awful and I wish I would have just been strong enough to leave rather than cheat. I will regret it probably for the rest of my life, although I am ultimately thankful our relationship ended. I was in a relationship for a year before my boyfriend admitted to me he had a wife and kids. You can't imagine the lengths he went to hide his family from me. I had absolutely no idea. The only thing that could have been a clue is that I never went to his place. He always came to mine. Anyway, after he confessed, he said he was going to get divorced. He had been contemplating it since before he met me. Blah blah blah. After realizing that he wasn't actually going to do it and also that I didn't actually want him and to be a homewrecker, I ended it. He told me he couldn't risk losing his kids in a custody battle, which I got. But it pissed me off so much how sad and hurt he was that I was leaving him. Anytime I started to miss him afterwards, I just reminded myself he is a selfish who jeopardized his family because he married someone who, in his words, he never even liked. If you find yourself in a similar situation, remember, this person might have genuine feelings for you, but they are a terrible human being and someone you can't trust to build a life with. Get out. I've never cheated on anyone, but my dad had an affair once. Honestly, I think the only reason he stayed with my batshit insane alcoholic mother at all is because of me and my sister. I was in an abusive relationship and wanted to feel like I had power over something. I didn't. I'm glad I came across this post today. Married almost 4 years. Together 8. My husband is in a treatment center for an addiction that has surfaced over the last year or so. So much heartbreak has led up to him going to treatment. He's been out of the house for almost 2 months and I'm alone with my babies. My kids are very little. I'm still nursing and I stop generally when they get teeth. He hasn't been contributing financially. Took money. Has been reckless. But I don't have any suspicion of him cheating whatsoever. I feel all the feeling that go along with cheating. Betrayal, humiliation, anger, diminished self-worth, etc. He went to treatment last night. He has pleaded for me to stay. I told him I'd be here. I found myself on a dating site. I can't tell you why. None of the men on there appeal to me like my husband does. I'm still very much in love with him. I know how addiction works. I myself do not deal with anything personally, but I read up. I get it's out of his control, but none of it is really any consolation. The more messages I respond to, the more normal it seems. I guess maybe I was looking for some kind of personal validation, or maybe to adopt some kind of alternate lifestyle that he would hate. Like he did to me. Sounds petty, I know. Don't judge me, I'm going through it. Anyway, point is, after reading these posts I know I'm being ridiculous. I don't want to cheat. Not like this. If treatment doesn't work out for us, then I will have to do what's right for my family and end the relationship. Thank Reddit for renewing my strength today. Immaturity, and a lot of insecurity. I was a teenager the only time I ever cheated, and it wasn't even a thought process when I did it. It was really just I want that right now, and the fact that I had a girlfriend didn't even cross my mind because I had never had to think of others' feelings in that way before. I was an insecure kid who thought that having a lot of meant I was masculine, and it proved something. But now I know it's just a scum move. After the person I cheated with told my girlfriend, I learned really quickly what those actions meant and what kind of behavior is expected from us. So, wish I didn't have to hurt someone to figure it out though. Due to low self-esteem, I thrived off attention, so rather than saying no thank you, I have a girlfriend, I'd let things continue, but at the same time, I also craved stability, so never wanted to break things off with said girlfriend. There's nothing I regret more than hurting my ex like I did, and karma finally caught up with me a few years later when I was cheated on by a different girlfriend. Repeatedly, I didn't end that relationship after I found out about her cheating the first time, as I felt I deserved it from my past shit. I vowed never to cheat again, especially after feeling the pain myself. I've never been in a relationship, but know 2 people who have cheated. both said they still loved the show, but something was missing and they sought that from other people. They didn't want to leave their current relationship, because they were still getting something good from it, but something else important was missing, so they simply got that from another.